Hi, I'm Chas, and you're watching Chas's Crazy Creations.
To start this project, I'll be using a candle holder from the dollar store, some fast setting repair mortar, and some dollar store plastic bowls. So I've got a drop cloth here from the dollar store, and I'm just gonna spread that over the top of my table to protect the surface that I'll be working on. Now I have my dollar store bowl, and I'm gonna use some good old cooking spray. You could also use avocado oil or olive oil, but I'm just gonna go ahead and give a nice little spray to make sure this is good and coated before moving on to the next step. So the next thing I'm gonna do is take my votive candle holder here, and I went ahead and removed the bottom off the sticker, but it doesn't really matter for what we're gonna do. But I'm gonna place the open end into the bottom of the bowl and make sure it's nice and solid in there. So I have my fast setting repair mortar in a 3-pound bag that is a Ziploc, and I have 10 ounces of water according to the package instructions. So I've gone ahead and opened the bag, and I made sure to save the Ziploc here. So you can see the mortar that's inside of there, and we're gonna be putting the water into the bag and Ziplocking it closed. Next, I'm placing all of the water into the bag, and then I'm going to Ziploc it closed, and I'm gonna squeeze all the air out of the bag, like so. So now that it's all sealed up, I start kneading the bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and just squeeze it like so you're mixing all those dry and liquid ingredients, tipping the bag, getting it nice and smooth. And if it feels too thick, you can always add a little water. But I'm gonna keep doing this until the entire mixture in the bag is mixed together. So I'm opening it up, and as you can see, it's got a nice consistency. There's a little bit in here in the center that might need a little more mixing up, so I could use a paint stir stick or craft stick to continue getting that nice, rich consistency that I'm looking for. And then we're gonna be ready to move on to the next step. So I'm gonna go ahead and place it into the bowl like so. And then once I got the texture or the amount I'm kind of looking for in there, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a tap. I wanna make sure that I can let all the air bubbles out. I don't want any bubbles in it. And then I want it to even out in addition to that. So I'm gonna give it a little tap so that it starts leveling out. Now I'm gonna let it dry for 24 hours before I do anything more with it. Now, if you got a little mortar on your candle holder, don't worry about it. You can just wipe it off with a baby wipe or a wet paper towel. And you can do it later as well. So if you're worried about bumping your mortar, you can always wait on this step as well. Okay, so now that this is set up, you can see that it's changed color. I'm going to pull it out, and you can see here, so this is still wet, but what is great about this is you can trim this out if you want. You can shape this if you want, but we're gonna go ahead and let that cure a little bit more before we move on to the next step. And in the meantime, while I'm waiting for that to dry up, we're gonna clean this bowl out because we're gonna need it again. So I've got my bowl all cleaned out. I've got my cooking spray again. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a good coating of spray. We wanna make sure it's nice and coated again so that comes out nice and easily the second time, but we're gonna do something a little different this time. So it's really up to you on how you want to do this next step. I'm going to be using some craft sticks. I'm using approximately 10. You can use as many or as few as you want. So I'm lining them all up side by side. And then I'm just going to use some painter's tape, but you could use whatever tape you want. I just need them to stay together. You could also glue them together if you want. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stick that tape on like so. There we go, like this. And I'm gonna do this twice. Just like before, I'm gonna cut the top off, put the 10 ounces of water in, seal it, squeeze out the air, and knead the bag until it's mixed thoroughly. Okay, I'm bringing back my bowl now. I've got my cement mortar together. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little bit more of a mix just to make sure as it comes out here. And this time I'm just gonna squeeze it directly into the bowl. So you can choose as much or as little as you want, but we're gonna go ahead and stick that in there like so. And then just like before, I'm gonna tap it down to get out air bubbles and get it nice and level. Like so. So now I bring my sticks back and I'm gonna want them to stay upright, but for now I'm gonna set them aside like this. Bring this back and I'm gonna bring this over now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place the first piece the other way, but now I want to make sure that I have that gap. So I'm gonna place these sticks in there to hold this up in place. And then I need to center it up so that it's nice and in the center of the bowl. And then again, giving it a little tap to make sure that all the air bubbles are out and that we're leveling and looks nice and even. So I'm gonna leave that now for 24 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry completely before we move on to the next step. So now that it's had time to cure, I'm going to carefully remove all my popsicle sticks. And then I'm going to turn it sideways and I'm going to carefully remove the bowl. So now I need to wait until this sets and then we will move on to the next step. Now that it's dry, we're just going to clean it up a bit. So I'm just going to take a baby wipe. You could use a paper towel, whatever you want. I'm just gonna wipe this clean, wipe out the inside too. You could take some Windex, but we're just gonna get off some of the extra that we don't want on here. You can scrape away at any of these little pieces that you maybe don't want. You can sand up edges. Super easy way to clean it up. So what I've got now is a set of battery LED lights. You could buy some that come with a remote, but I'm just gonna place them inside the glass, and then this will set at the bottom. And we're gonna go ahead and tip it here now, and you can see what this will look like. And what we're making is a super cool lamp, and then we'll tip it this direction so that it sits this way and the switch is at the bottom. Let's go set it up and take a look. Now, you could put these in so many different places. You could put them along your railing outside. As you can see, we have a railing out here. You could put them along your walkway up to your home and have a little remote that turns these on and off. You could put them inside in your trending home as a lamp somewhere inside your home. We're gonna put them outside on our front porch so that we have a fun added glow and it will hold up against the elements outside. And I hope this inspires you to create some concrete lamps of your own. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel and my blog at chascrazycreations.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.